Jung stood up by the counter, his sleeves rolled up and flipping the egg. That was something he had got used to it, making breakfast before going to the work, and usually you would be around, handing him the shirt or chatting about the little things. But today was different. The house felt empty. Strange. He glanced towards the doorway, accepting you to standing there with a t-shirt in your hand, but you were not. Muttering under his breath while running a hand through his hair, she's always around. Why does this feel weird when she's not? The thought making him pause. He had to admit, but over time he had got used to you. No matter how much he had tried to keep the distance, you had always been there. While finishing up, he placed the breakfast in the fridge and wiped his hand with a towel. As he entered the room, you were curled up into the side. Chongo stepped closer and sat beside you on the table. She's fine. Checking your temperature with the back side of his hand. His fingers brushed against your cheeks as he waited, expect you to stay awake, like you always did, but the time you didn't move. For some reason, it bothers him. I'm getting late. He's standing up there, he grabbed his shirt and checking the time. Before leaving, he's scrubbing a quick knot and placed it on the bedside table. The sound of the door closing stirring you, waking up. You open your eyes, blinking in an empty room. Now you might be happier not to, Jungkook. Now I'm not irritating you. This marriage was not something that Jungkook wanted. It was not a business deal or a contract. It happened because his mother wanted Wan to be his wife. She believed Wan was the right person for him, someone who could bring warmth and the balance in his busy life. Jungkook, on the other hand, had different plans. He wanted to focus on his work career. As a CEO, he wanted to grow his business and reach the greater success. Marriage was not in his plan, but it doesn't mean Jungkook hates Swayan. He doesn't. He is trying to adjust that new relationship and the feeling that come with it. He's not get used to it. Having someone care for him the way Vayan does, even if he doesn't show it, a part of him slowly started to accepting that presence of it in his life. But he is still figuring out how to balance his career and his new life with Vayan at the same time, and you are struggling with your own emotions. Few hours later, maid knocked the door. You were still in the room. Come in. She bowed at you and spoke, Madam, Miss Jeon Camille is here. She is waiting in the living room. A shiver run down your spine. Jeon Camille, Jungkook's older sister. She had made her feelings about you are very clear from the moment you got married to her brother. In her eyes, you were nothing more than a poor outsider. You took a deep breath and while forcing yourself to stand, she is my sister-in-law now. No matter what she thinks of me, I have to be polite for Jungkook. You walked out. Jungkook leaned back in his chair after coming back from the meeting, but his thoughts were again going back to the morning, and without realizing it, he grabbed his phone and dialed the maid's number. Hello, sir. Did Wyan eat her breakfast? There was a pause on the other side. In the end, no, sir, she didn't. Why? Miss Camille came by today and she said something that Ma'am Wyan hasn't been in herself since then. He gripped the phone tighter, and for a moment he couldn't speak in shock and anger twisted inside him. What did you say? I think you should ask Ma'am Wyan yourself, sir. Before he could respond, the secretary stepped in. Sir, the next meeting is about to begin. His jaw clenched. He grabbed his coat. Cancel everything. I'm going home. A few minutes later, Jungkook entered his house, and his eyes immediately searched for you. So he rushed to the room, and he found you walking in the bedroom. The sight of you was puffy, red eyes that make his heart flinched. She cried. He crossed the distance and gently grabbed your elbow to turn you to face him. What happened? He blinked while forcing a small smile as if trying to convince him like nothing was wrong. Nothing, I'm just a little sleepy. You pulled away while walking to the window. You closed the curtains and turned off the lights, then curled into the bed, avoiding his gaze. It's 2 p.m. You never sleep at noon. Why today? You didn't answer and curled into the blanket. He stared at you, and for a moment he took off his shoes and laid beside you. After a few minutes later, the room became silent, except the sound of Jungkook's breath. You opened your eyes and glanced at him. His eyes were closed. Now, you can't hold your pain any longer. You inched closer to him and buried your face in his chest, your hands gripping his shirt tightly. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I try so hard, I really do, but I never been enough for them, for anyone, maybe even for you. She said I don't belong to here, that I am nothing. His eyes opened slowly. He didn't say anything at first. His chest tightened at your words. He reached his hand and resting on your back. Wine? You frozen as you realized he was awake. You quickly turned, tried to pull away, but his hand gently held your shoulder to stop you. Tell me, what's wrong? Did something happen?